The cold winter wind bites at Ethan Blackwood's face as he pulls the hood of his faded sweatshirt over his head. He shoves his hands into the pockets of his worn jeans, feeling the rough fabric against his fingertips. His shoes, once pristine leather, are now scuffed and dull. To anyone passing by, he looks like an ordinary man walking through the city, blending into the crowd of shoppers on the busy street. But Ethan Blackwood is anything but ordinary. For years he has built his luxury retail empire, Blackwood & Co., from the ground up. His name is synonymous with class, prestige, and exclusivity. He has spent countless hours perfecting the brand's image, ensuring that every store reflects the elegance and sophistication his customers expect. Yet a nagging doubt has lingered in his mind for some time. He has heard whispers of a growing disconnect between his vision and the actual customer experience. Some rumors suggest that certain employees judge customers by appearance, offering warmth and attention to the wealthy while brushing aside those who seem less fortunate. Ethan needs to see it for himself. As he approaches the glass doors of one of his flagship stores, he takes a deep breath. The towering entrance gleams under the city lights, reflecting the world of luxury he has created. Stepping inside, he is immediately greeted by the scent of expensive cologne and polished wood. The soft hum of instrumental music plays in the background, complementing the hushed voices of customers browsing the lavish displays. He walks past a display of tailored suits, running his fingers lightly over the fabric. The atmosphere is refined, yet something feels off. Customers dressed in designer clothing receive warm smiles and attentive service. But as Ethan lingers near a display of luxury watches, he notices something peculiar. Employees subtly scan shoppers before deciding whether they are worth engaging with. He watches as a man in a finely tailored coat is approached almost instantly, receiving enthusiastic recommendations and a warm greeting. Ethan steps forward, making his way to the jewelry section, where a well-dressed employee stands behind a glass counter. She is tall and poised, her blonde hair pulled into a sleek bun. Her name tag reads Madison. She is speaking animatedly with a couple examining an expensive bracelet, her voice dripping with charm and enthusiasm. Ethan waits until she is finished before offering a polite nod. "Excuse me, could you help me with something?" Madison barely glances at him before shifting her weight to one side. Her expression cools as her eyes scan his appearance. The warmth in her voice disappears. "What exactly are you looking for, sir?" Ethan gestures toward the watches behind the glass. "I was interested in seeing one of these up close." She tilts her head slightly, clearly unimpressed. "These are exclusive pieces. The price range might be a bit steep. Perhaps you would be more comfortable browsing something else." Ethan keeps his voice steady. "I'd still like to take a look." Madison sighs, clearly reluctant. Before she can respond, another employee, a young man with dark hair and kind eyes, steps forward from the shadows. "Sir, I think you should see this." Ethan turns to face him, curiosity flickering in his chest. The young man glances around as if checking to make sure no one else is listening. "Please follow me." Ethan hesitates for a moment, then nods. As he follows the young employee toward the back of the store, a sense of unease settles over him. What had been a simple test is quickly turning into something much bigger. Ethan follows the young employee through the store, weaving past displays of luxury handbags and designer suits. The further they walk, the quieter the atmosphere becomes. The hushed murmurs of shoppers fade behind them, replaced by the soft clicking of dressed shoes against the polished marble floor. The young man glances over his shoulder, his expression cautious, as if making sure they are not being followed. Sir, I need to tell you something. My name is Daniel. I have been working here for almost a year, and there is something going on that you should know about. Ethan studies the young man. He has an earnest look in his eyes, the kind of honesty that is hard to fake. He nods, urging Daniel to continue. There are rules here. Not official ones, but the kind you learn quickly if you want to keep your job. People like Madison decide who is worth their time. If someone walks in looking wealthy, they get the best service, the best deals. But if they seem like they do not belong here, well, you saw what happened. Ethan remains silent for a moment, absorbing Daniel's words. He had suspected something like this might be happening, but hearing it confirmed by an employee stirs something deep inside him. And management knows about this. Daniel hesitates. His eyes dart to the side, as if afraid someone might overhear. They do, but they do not do anything about it. Madison is close to the store manager. People have complained before, but nothing changes. A few employees tried to speak up, and they were either given fewer shifts or pushed out. Most of us just keep our heads down. Ethan clenches his jaw. The company he built was never meant to operate like this. He wanted Blackwood & Co. to be a brand of excellence, not a place where customers were judged based on their appearance. He looks back toward the front of the store where Madison is still chatting with an elegantly dressed couple, her laughter ringing through the air. The stark contrast between how she treats them and how she treated him just moments ago only fuels his determination. I need to see this for myself. Ethan turns back to Daniel, his mind already forming a plan. Is she the only one who does this? Daniel shakes his head. No, there are a few others. But she is the worst. She decides who gets service and who does not. If she thinks you do not belong, she will make sure you leave feeling like you never should have walked in. Ethan exhales slowly. He has spent years believing his company was built on integrity, but the reality in front of him tells a different story. He turns back toward the showroom floor. Without hesitation, he steps forward and makes his way back toward Madison. When he reaches the display case, he clears his throat, drawing her attention. Actually, I would like to see one of those watches after all. Madison barely suppresses an eye roll, but with customers nearby, she forces a tight-lipped smile. She pulls out a sleek, black watch with gold accents, placing it on the counter with exaggerated care. This is one of our most exclusive pieces. It is a limited edition. Ethan reaches out, but before he can pick it up, she slides it further away. Just so there is no misunderstanding, this watch costs $12,000. I assume you are aware of that. Ethan meets her gaze, his expression unreadable. And if I wanted to buy it, Madison's smile tightens. Then I would need to see proof that you can afford it. A silence falls between them. Customers nearby glance over, sensing the tension. Ethan's fingers twitch at his sides, but he keeps his voice calm. Is that company policy? Madison lifts her chin slightly, her confidence unwavering. It is my policy. Daniel shifts uncomfortably beside him, his hands balled into fists. Ethan watches Madison for a long moment, then slowly nods. All right, then let's see what corporate has to say about that. He pulls his phone from his pocket and dials a number. Get here now. Madison blinks, caught off guard. Who are you calling? Ethan does not answer. He simply slides his phone back into his pocket and folds his arms across his chest. Daniel watches with barely concealed excitement. Madison, on the other hand, shifts nervously. Moments later, the front doors swing open and two men in tailored suits step inside. They move with purpose, their eyes scanning the room until they land on Ethan. As they approach, the tension in the air thickens. Madison watches them curiously at first, but when one of them speaks, her expression twists into one of complete shock. "Mr. Blackwood, sir." The store falls into stunned silence. Madison's face drains of color as the realization hits her. The man she dismissed, the man she refused to help. He owns everything. The silence in the store is suffocating. Madison's face goes pale as she stares at Ethan, her lips slightly parted as if she wants to speak but cannot find the words. The other employees freeze in place, their eyes darting between him and the two executives standing beside him. Ethan watches her reaction carefully. The confidence she had just moments ago is gone. Her polished demeanor, the smug way she had dismissed him, has evaporated. He lets the silence stretch for a few more seconds before he finally speaks. "Madison, that is your name?" Her throat bobs as she swallows hard. "Yes, sir." She forces a nervous smile, attempting to regain her composure. "I apologize for any misunderstanding. I did not realize who you were." Ethan tilts his head slightly. "You did not. That is true. But that is not the problem. The problem is how you treat people when you do not know who they are." Madison opens her mouth to respond, but no words come out. Ethan slowly turns, his gaze sweeping across the store. This company was built on quality, not just in products but in service. Every customer who walks through these doors should be treated with respect, not just the ones you think can afford it. Several employees shift uncomfortably, some looking down at the floor. Madison clasps her hands together in front of her, her knuckles turning white. "I am truly sorry. I never meant to offend you. I was just following the standards we have here." Ethan raises an eyebrow. "Standards? That is interesting, because according to Daniel, there are no actual company policies that justify what you have been doing. These are your rules, not ours." Madison shoots Daniel a glare, but the young employee stands firm. Ethan exhales slowly, turning to his executives. "I want a full review of how customers are treated here. I want the footage from our security cameras over the past month. I want to know exactly how often this happens and who is responsible for it." One of the executives nods, already pulling out his phone to make the call. Madison shifts on her heels. "Mr. Blackwood, please. I have worked here for years. I know I made a mistake, but I love this job. I can do better." Ethan holds her gaze for a moment before speaking. "That is not up to me. It is up to corporate. They will review everything and decide what happens next." Madison's shoulders slump, but she nods, knowing there is nothing more she can say. Ethan turns to Daniel, his expression softening. "You took a risk telling me the truth. That is not easy to do." Daniel straightens his posture. "It was the right thing to do." Ethan nods. "It was, and that is why I am promoting you. Effective immediately, you will be moving to a leadership position at this location." Daniel's eyes widen. "Sir, I thank you." Ethan offers a small smile. "Do not thank me. You earned it." He takes one last look around the store, his chest tightening at the realization that this had been happening under his nose for who knows how long. It will not happen anymore. Turning toward the exit, he walks to the glass doors and pushes them open. The cold air rushes against his face as he steps outside. Behind him, the store is left in stunned silence. Employees murmur amongst themselves, some relieved, others anxious about what is to come. Ethan pulls his hood back up, blending once again into the crowd of ordinary people walking down the busy city street. Today he came in undercover, but he is leaving as the man who finally understands his own empire. And it is time for change. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to support more powerful storytelling like this. And don't stop there. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next video. We'd also love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below to let us know how this story impacted you or what you'd like to see next. Your feedback helps us create meaningful content that connects with you. Thank you for being a part of our community. Your voice matters,